Start in Germany, 1939. The Panzer II is a joke by modern standards. Thin skin, a puny 20mm cannon, barely a step above a tin can with tracks. But paired with radios in every turret and a doctrine called blitzkrieg, these tin cans punch through Poland and France before anyone can blink. Speed became the weapon. Coordination became the terror. Then the Germans get greedy. Enter the Panzer IV, the workhorse, the one tank that fights from the first day of the war to the last. But greed builds bigger things. In 1942, German engineers unveil the Tiger I, 57 tons of Krupp steel wrapped around an 88mm gun, so powerful it could crack open an Allied tank from 2 kilometers away, long before that tank could even see it coming. Crews called it the door knocker, because that's exactly what an 88mm shell did to enemy armour. It knocked and then it walked right in. But the Soviets had already built the answer, and they built it before the Germans even invaded. The T-34. Sloped armour, a simple idea that changed tank design forever because a sloped plate deflects a shell instead of absorbing it. Cheap to build, brutal in the mud, merciless in winter. Soviet factories in the Urals churned out over 80,000 of these things, sometimes finishing a tank in under 12 hours flat, straight off the line and into the fight with paint still wet. When the T-34 wasn't enough, the Soviets answered the Tiger with the IS-2, the Iron Stalin, a tank so heavy-hitting its 122mm gun could only carry 28 shells because the ammunition itself was almost too big for the crew to lift by hand. Across the Atlantic, the Americans took a different bet entirely. The M4 Sherman wasn't the strongest tank in the war, not even close, but it was reliable, it was fast to build, and it showed up everywhere: North Africa, Normandy, the Pacific jungles. Crews had a dark nickname for it, Ronson, after the lighter company, because it lit up fast when an enemy shell found the fuel tank. But numbers won wars just as much as armour did. For every Tiger the Germans built, America built dozens of Shermans. Quantity became its own kind of Ironblood. Britain took a third path, the eccentric one. The Churchill tank was slow, boxy, and looked like it was designed by committee because it kind of was. But its thick armour let it survive hits that would have cracked a Sherman wide open, and it could climb slopes nothing else could touch. Then there were the Funnies. Churchills modified into flame-throwing tanks, mine-clearing tanks, even bridge-laying tanks, built specifically to break Hitler's Atlantic Wall on D-Day. Britain didn't just build tanks, it built a toolbox with tracks. Then there's Japan, the forgotten front of the Ironblood Age. The Chiha medium tank looked modern on paper, but by 1944 it was outgunned by nearly everything it met in the Pacific. Japan poured its steel into ships and planes instead, and its tank crews paid the price for that decision in the jungles of Okinawa and the Philippines. And Italy, often overlooked, often underestimated, fielded the Carro Armato P40, a tank that arrived too late and in too few numbers to matter, a symbol of an industrial base that simply couldn't keep pace with the war it had joined. By 1945, over 300,000 tanks had been built across the globe. Some fought for a week before becoming scrap. Some fought the entire war and came home legends. Every single one of them carried the same signature: a crew of teenagers and factory workers welded inside a steel coffin, betting their lives on whoever's engineers guessed right. The Ironblood Age ended the day the guns went quiet. But every modern tank on Earth today, the sloped armour, the composite plating, the sheer size of the gun, still carries a piece of that steel bloodline. The machines that broke the world also built the one that came after it.